Hey, what's going on everyone? Septic here, and welcome back to a brand new video. This one is going to be interesting because as you can see, I'm doing it all with my webcam, and I'm trying to be doing it in one take. This is going to be a video where we're going to just be breaking down the games that came out in 2022, talking about my personal favorite experiences, and just sharing it with you guys. I didn't really play much of the games that came out this year, but with the amount I played, I can still narrow it down to 5 games that I really enjoyed. If you ask me, I personally think that 2022 had a lot of amazing games that came out this year. There's God of War Ragnarok, you have games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Elden Ring, and many other games that came out. But out of all the games that released this year, which were my personal favorite games? Well, these are my top 5 favorite games of 2022. Let's start off with number 5, which is none other than Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, the next installment in the Fire Emblem Warriors game series. The game is not a crossover and instead pretty much taking inspiration from a game like Age of Calamity, where the game is just focused primarily on 3 houses. And it's an alternative storyline where Byleth doesn't run into the 3 house leaders. Instead, the 3 house leaders meet Shez, our new character who apparently was supposed to fade into history, but ended up awakening to Arvel before his death. This game is pretty much an alternate take on the story of 3 houses, and it's a very interesting one, and I definitely liked it because it definitely answers some unanswered questions from the original 3 houses, but also giving us new things. The thing is, it's not for everyone, as I know certain Fire Emblem fans will prefer the strategic RPG nature of the series compared to a more of a basic hack and slash game, but I still do recommend the game. If you played hack and slash games, you're pretty much going to enjoy this game, especially with, Warriors games. Pretty much it's the exact same layout. You have your specials, strong attacks, regular attacks, etc, everything's here, but Fire Emblem. However, some of my main drawbacks include the story. I don't want to get into it, but I do feel like the ending of these games definitely aren't that great. They're definitely the 2 paths for Dimitri and Claude's routes, in my personal opinion, weren't the best compared to their 3 houses counterparts. There's no relevance to Byleth, especially when they could have done some cool things to probably maybe answer some things with Byleth, but we did get to see a new side of Byleth that people enjoyed. It's just that we didn't get to see it that much. Again, I'm not going to try to get into details too much because I do want you guys to at least try the game. But from my personal experience, I really enjoyed this game. A lot of cool things that I would just love to just gush to you guys about in terms of spoilers. But to respectfully not spoil anyone, I will not be saying anything. If you enjoy Warriors games and you enjoy Fire Emblem, I highly recommend you pick up this game. This game has gone on sale during the holidays. I'm not too sure how it is now, but if you ever see it on sale, I definitely recommend you pick it up. Number 4, we have a tiebreaker because I'm honestly kind of struggling to put these two where if I prefer this one or if I prefer the other one. And I'm just going to have both here. I'm just going to talk about both because honestly I think both deserve to be talked about. So number 4 is going to be Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Both were our mainline 2022 Pokemon games, and both, in my opinion, were absolutely amazing games. A step in the right direction from Pokemon, especially after, in my opinion, the disappointment of Pokemon Sword and Shield and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are definitely an amazing step up from past Pokemon games. Legends Arceus came out in the beginning of this year, January 2022, and it was incredible. There were a lot of things I liked about the game where wild Pokemon can attack you, you have to dodge wild Pokemon's attacks, you have certain boss battles against the Pokemon so you can pretty much take them out, but there were still some things that I had issues with. It wasn't a traditional Pokemon game. They had these unique styles like the Agile style and the Strength style. I forgot the exact terminology, but you had these 2 types of styles. You didn't really have trainers to fight in the wild since at the time, at least in the lore of the game, there was no trainers. But the battles with the Pokemon were pretty cool, especially the boss battles, which I don't want to get into, again, spoilers, but they were absolutely incredible. But there was definitely a lot from that foundation that could have been improved upon. And that is where we get to Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet came out in November of this year, and it definitely improved upon what Legends Arceus did. I haven't completed the game yet, but I'm personally enjoying it. The story, well, people say it's amazing. I haven't, I guess, gotten to it, but there were some moments where I'm like really feeling the story, especially the story related to Arven so far. I've only done like, I think, 3 of the 5 Titans and all that stuff, but so far I'm really enjoying that route. But overall, like, Scarlet and Violet were just so good, man. Like, they're super fun. There are some issues I have, of course, the main thing being the graphics. I mean, I feel like the graphics can definitely be way better. The frame rate, oh my god, bro, the frame rate is absolutely atrocious. I really wish they can fix that. It's either a smooth 30, if they can go 60, that'd be incredible, but at least keep it a consistent 30, because there's moments I'm just running around through the wild and those dips are so bad, man. But overall, Scarlet and Violet are a massive improvement from Legends Arceus, but there are some things that can definitely still be improved upon. But overall, I felt like both these Pokemon games were incredible experiences. I was surprised that both these game stories are great. Of course, gameplay is Pokemon gameplay, so if you love catching and battling Pokemon, you're going to enjoy this game. And yeah, just running around this open world region. For Legends Arceus, it's the Hisui region, and Scarlet and Violet's the Paldea region. Just running around both of them was just incredible. If you can get your hands on both these games, I highly recommend you do so. Personally, I had a ton of fun compared to the previous Pokemon games that came before. Alright, now we're moving on to the top 3. Let's start number 3 with none other than Sonic Frontiers. I am so happy that this game is incredible. I came into this game super nervous. Like, I was shaking and panicking. Like, the first trailer was cool. The premise, you know, it was just a CG trailer. They were doing an open world like Sonic game, so I was interested. And then the IGN footage came out in May, and that scared me because I saw something that didn't interest me. I think it would have been interesting, you know, like the concept as a whole was interesting, but I needed to play the game in order to find out. And that IGN trailer was doing nothing for me to want to play the game. It was actually making me more nervous. But as time went on, we started seeing more and more footage that looked way better than the IGN footage that was shown. We started seeing like combat footage and just many other things that made me want to actually buy the game. I was actually getting hyped, but I was scared and I was trying to hold that back because the last Sonic game that I played, which was Sonic Forces, definitely was not good. I was extremely let down by that game. A lot of false promises. So I went into this game crossing my fingers, hoping that it would be good. And I'm glad to say that it was, man. Oh my god, but this game was absolutely incredible, man. Sonic Frontiers made me happy to be a Sonic fan again. I enjoyed the story. The writing was great. I definitely feel like there's some things that need to be explained because it's not a perfect game. Without going into spoilers, there's some things that happen closer to the end of the game that definitely feel rushed, that don't feel like there's any explanation to it, that I hope it's elaborated upon. But other than that, it is a fun experience. If you love Sonic games, you're going to love this. And I feel like my worries might definitely be fixed because we do have free DLC coming up where, you know, especially the last one, which is going to be these new like playable characters and a new story. So hopefully they elaborate on certain things or expand upon certain things. So I'm really excited for that. Man, no, honestly, playing through this game, I just had a smile on my face. I guess the only con would be like the overworlds, I guess, feel empty, but I understand like for the story reason why it's empty. I guess the other thing would be the in-world challenges. A lot of them are pretty basic and simple, but I definitely feel like they have something going on here. There's something that they have here that they can expand upon and not just only make Sonic playable. We can have other characters playable, and that's exactly what's going to happen. It said playable characters coming up and all that stuff with the final DLC update. All free, by the way. This will all be free to download. With more playable characters, you know, imagine seeing characters like Tails and Knuckles, Amy playable in Sonic Frontiers in this type of formula with their own unique abilities. I want them to continue this formula. But overall, if you ask me, Sonic Frontiers was an absolutely amazing experience that is definitely worth the buy. The game actually recently went on sale for the holidays, so hopefully you guys picked it up. But if you did not pick it up, I highly recommend it. Sonic Frontiers definitely blew my mind, bro. Like, I'm just so happy. Coming in at number 2, we have none other than Kirby and the Forgotten Land. our first ever 3D Kirby game. It released back in March of 2022, and I can say that this game was just absolutely charming. I was smiling throughout my entire journey of this game. I 100% of this game, and after 100%ing it, I thought it was great. I just wish there was more. Like I beat the game and I was honestly crossing my fingers that we get some type of DLC for the game, but sadly that never came to be. Kirby the Forgotten Land definitely deserved it. But is it perfect? There's definitely one thing I guess I can think of right now at the top of my head that I felt was not that good, and that is the power-ups. I just wish there were more power-ups. That's why I was hoping that maybe if they did DLC in the future, they would have expanded upon the power-ups that we have, you know, like bring us other ones, like for example the fighter copy ability is not here. I was hoping that ability would return, but that sadly didn't. But from what we have here, it is really good. I love how we can upgrade the abilities. We can become monsters, essentially. But even becoming monsters, we can still beat the game just without using any power-ups. But of course, you know, I'm not going to say any story spoilers, but I really enjoyed the story. You know, your typical Kirby cuteness combined with its horror aspect. It's incredibly charming. Its destroyed Earth setting looks eerie but amazing at the same time. Gave me Nier Automata vibes, just seeing just a city just destroyed and like taken back over by nature and whatnot. But there's many aspects to that as you continue through the game. Overall, Kirby and the Forgotten Land was an incredible experience. Made me happy to be a Kirby fan, especially after Star Allies. While not a bad game per se, it was definitely very easy. I beat the game like immediately, quickly. There wasn't really that much of a challenge I had with the game. I don't even think I died. Like honestly, like it was just a very easy game. At least Forgotten Land, I believe I actually did die a couple times. But overall, if you can get your hands on Kirby and the Forgotten Land, please do so. The game's incredible. You know, I've been going through these top 5 lists right now, and I feel like I haven't even touched upon the music. Let me actually get back into that, honestly. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes' music, phenomenal. If you love Fire Emblem 3 Houses' music, but you love rock, and you love its and you want to hear some amazing rock remixes of those songs, get ready to enjoy that. And the original tracks are amazing as well. We have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, enjoyable music. Legends Arceus, also enjoyable music. Not too much tracks, but it still has some enjoyable music. Sonic Frontiers, do I even need to explain that? That should have won Best Music. That should have been a nominee. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, ooh, amazing music. There's one track, I don't want to say spoilers. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's shown off in the trailers, but there's one track in that game that is just perfection, man. Ooh, boy, that song was great. But I had to mention music because I'm going to be talking about my personal favorite game of this year. My game of the year for 2022 is none other than Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You have no idea how much I love the Xenoblade series. February 2022, when we got that announcement of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I was in complete shock. There were leaks that came out back in August of 2021 where insiders were talking about how there's going to be a Xenoblade 3 game that takes place in the distant future of 1 and 2, combining the stories. And, you know, it definitely sounded very interesting. I didn't know if I wanted to believe it or not, but I can definitely see it happening. And that is exactly what happened. Those leaks were real. Luckily, those leakers did not spoil anything crazy. And I'm not going to talk about the story, but let me tell you, that story was absolutely emotional, man. I feel like the game is definitely shorter than most Xenoblade games, but from what it had, it was still enough that just was an amazing experience. But we're not done yet with the story. You know, we have that future DLC expansion that's going to be coming out next year in 2023. When next year, who knows? Whether it be summer or closer to the end of 2023, we have this massive story that's going to be coming up that's going to probably explain even more lore, or be an epilogue where it shows us what happens after the events of Xenoblade 3, which I will not be talking about, obviously, because that is definitely going into spoiler territory, and we're going to keep this spoiler free. But yeah, no, overall, in terms of the story, it was a magnificent game. When it comes to gameplay, I love it. I feel like it's definitely a little bit more easier to understand than a game like Xenoblade 1 or 2. However, definitely the gameplay, in my opinion, is way better than Xenoblade 1. I feel like Xenoblade 2 and 3 are just way better games than Xenoblade 1 as a whole. We're not going to get into that debate. But Xenoblade 3's gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. I love the different class changes. I love the chain orders, and I love all the different heroes that we have. And of course, new to this game is that we have 6 party members on the field compared to Xenoblade's traditional 3 party members at a time, and everyone else had to pretty much sit in reserves. No, here we have every single character on the field. You can make them whatever you want and pretty much just go crazy, make your own combinations of attackers, defenders, and healers. And if depending on how you do it, you can do some pretty crazy things to the enemy. The world, oh my god, bro, the world was incredible. Just exploring any monolith world is just phenomenal. The world of Alres in Xenoblade 2 was phenomenal. The Bionis and the Mechonis in Xenoblade 1, phenomenal. Exploring Ionios in Xenoblade 3, phenomenal. The game is just gorgeous, man. The game is absolutely beautiful. Every single time I enter an area in Xenoblade 3, I'm just in awestruck. Like, damn, they got this running on the Switch, dude? Like, especially compared to like the Pokemon games. Like, bro, you compare the Pokemon games visuals to Xenoblade 3's visuals, and it's just day and night. The characters are also incredible. Our main cast, Noah, Mio, Lance, Uni, Tyon, and Senna, incredible characters. I grew to love each and every single one of them. If you're a big fan of JRPGs, you need to play Xenoblade. If you have not yet played it, you need to get the entire series as quick as you can. Then overall, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is an absolute masterpiece of a game. Definitely my game of the year of 2022. Oh my god. Oh, and the music, bro. The music. Oh my god, bro. That music made the game even more amazing. The battle themes, the emotional songs, everything. Oh man, that music is absolutely incredible. In my opinion, should have won Best Music for Game of the Year, but that's a whole different topic. But overall, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was my personal favorite game of 2022. But there are so many games that released this year, and I want to know what you guys think. What were your favorite games of this year? I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It'll really help me out big time. Share this video around with others. I want to see what people think their game of the year is in the comment section. Also, follow me on Twitter. Everything will be down in the description below. But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you have yourselves a fantastic day. This has been Septic, and take care.